Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm Will, and I'm joined by my co-host over here, the Grease.
Hey, baby.
Say ho, 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 Grease.
I'm
Christmas.
Well, I had to pause.
It's Christmas.
I was going to say something wrong. End of the year, end of 2023. We got 2024 coming up.
Right.
Some people are asking me about New Year's resolutions.
Oh.
Do you do them?
Nah.
I don't normally do them.
No.
However, I have a new take on it this year.
Okay.
I just want because you'd set them and then you may or may not do them and it might not, whatever. I just want to be better in the end of 2024 than I am right now.
Okay, that's a good one.
Because I feel freaking like I'm blessed. I've got great family. I've got great friends. Just a lot of positives coming into 2024. So I'm just praying that at the end of 2024, it's even better.
One better.
Just go up a notch. A skosh.
For those of you watching and you're wondering what happened to Will's nose, my son dropped my phone on my face while I was laying in bed on Saturday morning and busted open, started bleeding right there on the bridge. So I don't think it's broken. It doesn't look crooked. But there was a crunch when it fell. So for those of you listening, just imagine. And I'm glad I didn't have the titanium ones. I think I'm one back, like one lesser.
Peasant.
I have you in 2023. I don't have you in 2024. One better.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually don't have titanium either. I've got like 2 versions ago.
I just meant you and yourself. So we're going to talk about some great pours we had. We just both picked one and that we love from the year, and we're going to drink them, talk about them, have a little holiday cheer, and then we're going to let you get back to your family.
All right, what's your pour, Will?
Mine is Jim of Kentucky, a late entry to the 2023 whiskey editions. But I had, I think it was barrel 47 with Mark and Kim Schwartz. I was able to hang out with them as they were passing through Franklin on their way to Kentucky a couple weeks back. And I was just always blessed when I get to spend time with them. They're really great folks. And they poured some of that. And that was the first time I'd had it. And then you were able to pick up a couple bottles for us from our buddy Don over at Fairview. Yep. So it's a higher retail price point. It's like $199.
Yep.
But this one's 108 proof. This is barrel number 30 from Dixon Deadman.
What shocks me about barrel, I'm sure it's the only one I've had is barrel 30. And it's incredible. It's 7 to 8 years old. Single barrel, and it is his mash bill. So obviously he doesn't own a distillery, so he contracted that out, but it's his own unique mash bill. And again, he does double barrel these things. But dude, the amount of oak on this 7 to 8 year old is absolutely asinine.
I don't know if that was the right word for that. I think you meant absurd.
Yeah, absurd.
Asinine, I don't think played well. That wasn't the right word.
All right, so use asinine in a sentence.
You
are asinine.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means then.
Your attitude is asinine. It means like you're being like an
snarky,
big old dum-dum.
Oh. Okay. Well, and
you want the dictionary definition?
Sure. I mean, if we've got
extremely stupid or foolish.
So how did I use it again?
You said the amount of oak is asinine.
Yeah, it is. It's stupid.
I know, but the way you think of meaning stupid and that this is more like the act. Yeah, these are more like the actions of someone are asinine.
Yeah.
So stupid has become something you'd be like, man, that is stupid good. I don't think anyone's ever said that is asinine good. Like, you're probably the first right there. All right. Anyhow, you meant it's absurdly good.
It is. It's very absurdly good. And this is it, right?
Yeah, this is it.
I mean, I can't wait to have it.
Oh, it smells great.
Dude, it's so stupid how
it's so asinine how good you can get.
Dude, you know who's asinine?
Who?
Dixon Deadman. Doesn't know what he's doing.
He called me the other day. FaceTime.
Whoa.
You never responded. I sent you a screenshot of it.
He called you?
Right. He FaceTimed me.
For what?
He was with Joshua, just a chat. He was with Joshua Steely and one of our other buddies that is still at Buffalo Trace, Chris. And they They were just chatting. They just wanted FaceTime. They were in Dallas together. They were at like a
Dixon's always in Dallas. Dixon does Dallas. There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a if your kids are listening, turn it down for a second. There's a horribly filthy like country song called "Dick Down in Dallas."
Okay,
you'll have to hear it. I'll play it for you after.
It's one of those.
It's offensive.
Okay. What do you think about this, Will?
Smells great. It smells great.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. This is how you round out 2023 was a
Dude,
pour like
this is cherry tobacco.
It's
just so dumb. I mean, it's $200. Here's the deal. I bought 2 because I love Dixon.
Yeah.
I'm devoted to him.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't FaceTime me, I typically FaceTime him.
And I sent you a screenshot of him and you said, "Who is that?" And I said, "Look closely. It's your man crush." And you never responded.
Probably never saw it.
Checks out.
Yeah. So I bought 2, but one's for the bunker, one's to sip on right now. That is the most money on whiskey that I've spent all year, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a splurge for me. So it's not like I've got a $200 a month budget that I've been going through, or $300, whatever it is. I've saved up for it, guys.
Yeah.
Saved up for it. I suggest you do the same because this is stupid. And if you can find Barrel 30. Now, Barrel 30 was here in Tennessee. Chris Propokiak, he had Barrel 30 in Denver. He found it in Denver.
The Barrel 47 I had was also unbelievably good.
That was out of Texas.
Mm-hmm, there is I have a 1 ounce sample sitting at home that I'm going to compare the two next to each other because they are both great. This one, I feel like the mouthfeel really sets it over.
Dude, it feels like it's out here.
This is one of the best whiskeys I maybe have ever had.
I know. The spectrum, it's crazy. Yeah. It just feels like it's so broad. Like it's such an experience.
Mm-hmm. It's got girth. Man, this whiskey's got girth.
Dixon's whiskey's got girth.
Mm-hmm. What did you bring to the table? This evening, this Christmas.
I brought another banger. Definitely one of my whiskeys of the year.
Is this last year's release or this year's?
Well, that's fair. That's fair. This was actually last year's release.
Okay. Because they have released a second one, but you're still within the same year-ish.
Maybe.
When we got it.
So this is a 13th Colony Double Oak. So we're doing 2 Double Oaks tonight. I didn't even realize that. This is a cask strength from 13th Colony out of Georgia, out of Americus. This comes in at 135.3 proof. And again, the body on this thing is just crazy. I mean, guys, this looks like motor oil. I don't know if you can. I mean, on camera right now, it looks like ink.
It's funny Grease says it looks like motor oil because Lord knows he has never been anywhere close to changing oil.
Well, I've seen it leak onto the driveway.
Oh,
it's
right.
a piece of crap.
Yeah, I get that.
Pisses me off.
It's asinine.
It's asinine.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers to this one. This one reminds me of some like just having an old B-tack, like opening one of the George T. Staggs. It's like older that we've had.
Yeah, it feels B-tack.
Yeah.
Like the way it just comes in, it's syrup and
it almost
oily.
has a dusty nose to it.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's probably because of the secondary barrel.
Oh. Woo! Dude. And what's the proof on that one?
135.
So crazy.
3.
So much proof. But you can drink these side by side at 108
They're
and 130.
completely different experience.
Completely different, but the Dixon one doesn't all of a sudden fall flat because it's that 138
I
whiskey.
just went back to it.
I think the double barreling process for both of them mellows out some of the alcohol edge, especially on that one that you would get, and therefore they're both super drinkable. Even at 108 proof isn't like a super high proof. That's actually kind of a sweet spot, I feel like. But even
and they
that
proofed all of them down to that. All of those single barrels, they did proof down.
Yeah, Dixon said to
for unity. honestly,
to
because
meet
they didn't have to write.
It says to meet my standards for the most premium release of T2XO.
His standards are iffy. He
Well, I don't know. He decided to FaceTime me and not you, so I feel like his standards are pretty top notch.
Well, I don't understand his standards.
Well, I do. These are great.
Is it a like a deep cut of just saying like somebody's standard? Oh, I'm gonna decline that call. How do I do that?
You click decline.
Yep.
There you go.
It's a boomer situation.
How do I do it? What was one of your favorite things of the year as you reflect on the year? Because it's been a kind of a roller coaster year for us.
I'm going to be honest with you. The tornado victim fundraiser we were able to do just reminded me of how people can be selfless and show up. And because I mean, they don't know this family. We don't even know this family.
Right.
I mean, I'm hoping one day we get to meet them.
Yeah.
Give them a hug. But that was crazy.
Yeah.
In a really cool way. And two, we had support, from Dan and Sean and Matt Porter, and some other individual guys that put up some bottles. And you guys know who you are, but just an incredible experience all around. And not only did we get them goods quickly on an Amazon list, but we were able to shift to a monetary help through GoFundMe, which was super important because they lost their lead income, in the tornado because the father passed away. And so the burden on this family of like, how am I going to feed my family? Like that goes away for a time and enables them to get government assistance in place. So this money gets them to that.
A stopgap where they can start getting help from safety nets, hopefully, that are there that are bureaucratic and take a while. So
exactly.
Hopefully it's a period of, in one of the worst possible periods of your life, that a little bit of the extra stress that comes along with that is hopefully alleviated to some degree. Now I know that it will never alleviate all of the stress, and not thinking that
there's a void,
but just hopefully that it's not one more thing they have to be thinking about right now is what am I going to put on my body? What am I going to eat off of?
Yeah.
Where am I going to am I going to store this
right
stuff?
out of the gate? Hey, you owe us $3,000 to bury your husband.
Right. Exactly.
And you think they've got that money?
Right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, if you even statistically, the cash reserves of the vast majority of the country, there's like some statistic that it's like a shockingly high amount of the percentage of the population wouldn't know where to get the money if they had, I think it's like either $400 or $800 expense dropped on them, like unexpected expense. Like I know in this community, in whiskey community, we have, our hobby is something that's an excess.
Yes.
It's a fun hobby to go purchase something that is not a necessity. And it is something that requires spending money to participate in a hobby. It's not like, I don't know, I'm really into running.
A lot of money.
So the fact that sometimes I feel like within this, when we talk about, I picked this up, even though it doesn't mean everyone is just like Daddy Warbucks over here, but it can sometimes be tough to remember that not everyone is as fortunate. And the fact that this community did rise to the occasion when it was people they don't know, we don't know. And like I said, when we did our drawing last week, probably will never know. It really was powerful. Yeah. And I told that story not in like a bragging, look what we did, but in a look what this community of people across the world in the country did for strangers countless times over the past weeks. Just because I'm so proud that people that have decided to listen to or watch the podcast are those kind of people.
Yeah, dude.
That is something I could.
We've always been fortunate about how cool the people are,
right,
in our community.
And I know you can't pick that. You can hope that you're gonna attract those kind of people, but really, it's remarkable when, even more than my wildest dreams, I honestly was hoping that we would get, a couple $100 worth of stuff purchased off the list.
Oh yeah. Well, my benchmark was like, man, that'd be amazing if we could raise $1,000.
Right. And it's, we were well north of $7,000 of economic impact between the purchasing of the items off the list, and then also just people giving directly to GoFundMe. So that's a great memory. It came right here at the end of the year, and it's out of an unfortunate, horrible, tragic situation. But the beauty of the humanity that was shown by strangers is something that we should not lose sight of, and be very be proud to be a part of, not be proud of patting ourselves on the back, but be proud of the people that we are associated with. I think is an appropriate thing.
100%. Yeah. Now, what's your favorite?
Oh, it's a tough one for me. This has been a year that's been a blur. But so I have two things that come to mind that were favorite highlights of the year for me, but it's been a blur, and next year we're going to do better, and we've already got plans. We've also got coming up in a few weeks a very special podcast. We'll give more details on that later. Just kind of, it's going to be more raw, more real, but Grease and I are just going to sit down and talk about, what's been going on in our lives for the past year and a half probably now. Well, I mean, several years maybe, but just kind of give a status update, a situation update, but it won't be as like whimsical as you're maybe used to. But we think it's important to talk to people that we know care about us and that we care about in a
little bit more serious of a topic.
Yeah. So that one people may not be like a bunch of quotes Kevin Hasselwander is going to be pulling out for years, but I think it'll be an important milestone in this experiment we've been doing for almost 8 years now. But the one thing that's just a zany, wild thing that it took us almost 7 years to do, but was something that we discussed for years doing, was renting a bus and driving around to liquor stores.
You're so right. We wanted to do the retail crawl.
We literally talked about renting a bus and getting a bunch of friends and going around to liquor stores,
just drinking, having
for
a good time.
Years.
We could all do that anyway, but it was just the novelty.
Yeah, and just the absurdity of it. And we never did it until this whiskey weekend, and we had 3 retailers on board, and we had 2 50-passenger buses, if not more. I don't know how big those buses are.
50, they were 55 and 52.
Yeah, giant buses, and we literally loaded them up, and we drank the whole time, and we drank in the stores, and we just had a blast, and it was everything. Like, that's also one of those ideas that in your head could be great, but then pans out and was like, that was not what we were expecting it to be. And it was
opposite,
miles away, like incredible, more incredible than we could have ever thought it would have been.
And I don't even know how many people said, honestly, I wasn't really looking forward to the retail crawl. However, that was a blast. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's
so many
awesome.
people said from Whiskey Weekend this year that was their favorite part of it. And I mean, I love that worked, and that was a risk. That was a dice roll, but it worked, and it was a blast. And so
eating at Miss Mary Bobo's is probably both of our seconds, right?
Yeah.
For breakfast.
Yeah.
Because
first
for
ever
some
breakfast.
weird reason, Jack Daniel's, I mean, we were the first outside of the distillery staff to have Miss Mary Bobo's breakfast publicly.
Unbelievable.
It was so stupid. It was so good.
Yeah. So
we didn't even know that fact until we got there. But y'all do know y'all are the first ones ever.
It was so good. I was very pleased with that too. But I'll also say that we, and this is more of a personal note, just on things of the year, but that we, for 4 years now, have done a December not quite Advent calendar, but it's
It's 12 days of Christmas.
yeah, 12 days of Christmas, but it's actually 13
Just don't worry about it.
with some people that have been by our side for a long time. They started off as people that took a risk, some of them on some of the very first virtual bar nights, and just friendships that have grown out of this community.
First of the whiskey weekend.
Yeah. So it's a really special group of people. And we don't talk about it often because we don't want people to feel left out or something of that nature, but it's become something that is hard to describe how special getting together for 13 nights in a row for even just if you can just be on for a few minutes. Basically, we share 13 bottles of whiskey because we empty them all, and everyone gets a 2-ounce sample, and they get shipped around the country. And we are from people. There's people in Canada. There's people all over the United States, and we get together and we just share a little bit of joy, a little bit of holiday cheer. And so I would encourage people to find your friends and do something similar. Just find a moment to get out of the noise and just focus on a friendship. Mm-hmm. It doesn't even have to be for Christmas, but that has always been the highlight.
Sounds like a New Year's resolution.
But yeah, but this one hit this year on just a different level for me. That
on a lot, I think, in the whole group,
with all the noise and all the uncertainty in the world, and we've got military and proxy fights right now in 2 different places, and all sorts of just negativity in December,
division.
You can take, and we're heading into a tumultuous political season in the next year. Just taking a moment to be with people and just giving a toast, saying some words of kindness, encouragement, something for a few minutes. It really is medicinal to some degree, that people are. I'm about to sound so much like an old man, but just like how disconnected, how easy it is to internalize things and to just like distract yourself or withdraw and just scroll on your phone. Just being able to be real with people and just encourage other people or talk about the struggles you're going through, even for a brief minute, was so refreshing. And having a commitment to do it for almost 2 weeks with people in the middle of the holiday season. And my wife was even saying, she's like, it's a big commitment to get 13 people to do that. And she wasn't saying in like a negative way, like, man, that's a big commitment you signed up for. She was more just like, you need to like realize and reflect on that's a big commitment.
But you want to.
Yeah, it's not something
it's not easy being available 13 nights in a row at the same time.
And everyone has a Christmas party littered throughout it, so it's not like there's no judgment. It's all everyone just loving on each other. And I don't know, it's very special. So
it is very special.
That's a highlight for me.
I want to encourage you, if you're listening, by the way, or watching, maybe just find 5 people and meet on Zoom for 1 week, like every night. There's something magical about nights in a row. Yeah. And not like once a month. Yeah. Because you can't keep the same conversation going. Right. But you can. And what happens when you have the same conversation, like a continual conversation, is that conversation gets deeper. Right. And there's a different level of connection there. So if you're wanting that, I highly suggest it, especially if you're an introvert. Like me. Yeah, no, this is great. Like if you don't like to get out and you kind of like to stay in your own place, like this is Zoom. And well, and I said this on my night to give my toast, but I pointed out an observation I'd had because I was number 12 out of 13. So I'd gotten to see everyone go before and share something wonderful with everybody. And there's always a reason why you sent something. Sometimes it's just, I think this is really good. Sometimes it's like there's a narrative behind why you sent it. But mine was the first ever podcast pick, right? The Whistle Pig Rye 10-year, and it was my last bottle. So I was holding onto that bottle for something. I didn't know what. And I was just like, you know what? It was a very trying year. It was a very long year. I was like, this is the year to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to finish off this bottle with some dear friends.
Well, and as I was saying too, is that one observation I had was that every night this year, normally I'm so hyper focused on the person talking. I'm still listening to them. But this year I was looking around because thanks to Zoom, we had a camera pointing on every person.
Right.
So I was just looking around at everyone listening soberly, which is a funny word to use, but just like very clear-minded, intently listening to someone talking, sharing their feelings or toast or whatever for just a few minutes. And I noticed almost every night when I looked at each square, there was some degree of a smile on everyone's face. And just that, like, that's the point. There was some joy.
Yeah.
And a smile is
and joy is hard to find in 2023.
it's a human reaction. A smile is something that you can force a smile, but when you have a real smile, it's a involuntary action. Your body and your mind produce a smile. And I was seeing that for almost 2 weeks straight from people that were getting true joy from listening to a friend. And yeah, we're sappy here on Christmas, but that really spoke to me of just seeing moments when there's so much nastiness out.
Yeah.
That just seeing people hearing words and smiling is such a basic human response. And it was beautiful to see. So that it's hard to beat that, you know?
Dude, I agree. In fact, the bummer is the only night I missed this year happened to be when Will was giving his toast.
Yeah, typical.
And I felt so bad, but I had...
He missed for the most noble and pure reason of all. It's because his daughter had a Christmas performance that he was at. So there was no...
And she crushed it.
It was not Grease being Grease. It was Grease being a really good father.
That Matt guy.
Yeah. All right, folks, that's about it for this Christmas. We don't want to keep you away from your family too long. Yeah. Merry Christmas. We will probably not be back next week because we record a week in advance. We're not recording today.
Yeah, and we're not going to record Christmas.
Right, that's what I mean. So, but we'll be talking with you soon. Like I said, we're going to have a pretty cool, maybe the wrong word, but a pretty real episode coming up that and not that this one wasn't real, but this that I think many of you will resonate with. So be on the lookout for that. And until we talk to you again, we don't know Jack,
but we'll drink it.